Hello, good morning, and welcome to a special edition of, I suppose, the Box to Box podcast again, all over again. We are live, of course, for the UEFA Champions League draw this morning / this afternoon, depending on how long UEFA decide they want to take. As ever, we are just getting started with all the fluff and all the nonsense of, here's the group stages and this is what's happened. But we'll take you through each game as it's drawn, and we'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening, with some less faff and some more interesting chat. I'm David Brindle. Joining me today, I have got Kai, who is a Manchester United fan, Grace, a Liverpool fan, Bernard, a Manchester City fan. We're going to take you through, as I say, all the potential games that could be looking ahead for all three teams, and also Chelsea as well. We'll give Chelsea a mention. And yeah, we'll just have a little bit of a chat about how we think things are going, and at the end, and when we've found out who all the teams, all the draws are, we'll see if we can predict who's going to win the Champions League. So first things first, Bernard, how are you doing today, mate?
Oh, I'm great, mate. Yeah, I was up at 2 for work, so I've got home, had a shower. I sort of fell asleep at work because I was up at 2, but I was awake from about 11:30 because someone was chatting and I could hear them. I couldn't get back off to sleep, so a bit tired, mate. But looking forward to this. This will be really, really good.
Well, what we'll do is we'll get your stuff out the way quick, let you have a little doze.
I've got loads to do, mate. Don't worry. I've got so much to do today anyway. It don't make any difference. I just go like that with my eyes. I'll be fine.
A couple of matchsticks, not in a coffee and an energy drink can't fix for you, hopefully, mate. Kai, yourself, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm all right. Thanks, David. Feeling refreshed after the weekend, but got uni assignments due this week. So, we've got that to do this afternoon as well.
Mate, I hate to tell you, but it only gets harder from there.
Oh, no.
And Grace, nice to see you. Been a while. How's things?
You too. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fantastic. Absolutely living the dream as ever. Right, let's have a little look then, shall we, at the teams that we can potentially be seeing coming out of the draws today. So we'll have a look to see the teams first. These are the seeded teams, or otherwise known as the group winners. We've got Ajax, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Liverpool, Lille, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Real Madrid. The unseeded teams, who are the teams that can potentially face the seeded teams, will be Atletico Madrid, Benfica, Chelsea, Inter Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, Salzburg, Sporting Lisbon, and Villarreal. So obviously those teams can't play each other. They will draw a seeded team, and the seeded teams will draw an unseeded team, and vice versa. Chelsea are the only team that are, from the English ones anyway, that are in the unseeded pot, and all the other English teams are in the seeded pot. But obviously Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City cannot draw Chelsea at this stage. Those teams also, everyone can't draw the team that they were in the same group as. So, for example, Liverpool couldn't play. Who finished second in our group? Ajax, wasn't? No, it wasn't Ajax. That was last year. Atletico Madrid, of course it was. So, mine went blank there. That obviously can't happen. We'll go through all of them in a minute. Bernard, I'll start with you, because obviously Manchester City favourites to win the trophy again this season. It's got closer and closer every year, and obviously last season ended in a little bit of heartbreak at the Champions League final. Is this the year City can go on and actually do the job?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought we'd do it the time we got beat by Lyon as well the season before. To be honest with you, and if Pep didn't throw a wobbler last year, we should have done it last year. But I'm always a glass half full. I'm optimistic, but I worry about the English teams in this. I'm not too worried about this last 16. I'm more worried when we get to the group of 8 and what might happen. Last 8 teams, and if all 4 English clubs get through, I think the fun starts then. To be honest with you, I'm not saying the only team I'm really worried outside of the English teams is Bayern Munich. To be honest with you, that's the only one that I don't particularly want. We'll take any of the others, but February's a long way away, isn't it? We might only have half a team by then, or we might, obviously some players might be coming back to form with a bit of luck, because we're not that great at the moment, I don't think. But it'll be very, very interesting. But I'm looking forward to this anyway, just to see what we're going to get.
Obviously, also with the other thing we need to discuss, and we will very shortly, is the whole changing situation with coronavirus restrictions, and if we'll have any fans, and we'll come to that. But before we do, Bernard, let's have a look at the potential teams that Manchester City could face in the round of 16. You said you're not too. I put them actually in a little bit of an order. Actually, I put them 1 to 6 of obviously from top to bottom. So starting with the ones I'd least like to get is Inter, of course. At least like to get Atletico Madrid second, Sporting third,
Salzburg 4th, Benfica 5th, and the easiest one I would imagine is Villarreal, based on what I can see and what I've watched over the previous 2 or 3 months.
Okay, I think Kai might disagree after some. She'll get shivers, Kai, when you hear the name Villarreal.
I mean, we didn't do
Well, it's a
too
big
bad
goal.
against them in the group stages, but that Europa League draw, that they know how to win a game of football, and especially under Unai Emery, he's a masterclass at being able to grind out results. You saw it in the final. He knew exactly how to set up against us, play for that 0-0, and then catch us on the counter or win it on penalties, and they did. I mean, to be honest with you, I think City'd have too much for Villarreal. I think it's only because we were in a struggling time that we struggled against Villarreal. I think City'd be perfectly fine against Villarreal.
Okay, so let's have a look then at the teams that Manchester United can potentially draw. Obviously, no Villarreal because they're in the group stage. Mm-hmm. Quite similar again, and Liverpool's is also very similar, which we'll come to in a second. Let's go Madrid, Benfica, Inter Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, Salzburg, and Sporting Lisbon. Kai, for you again, who's the ones you might want to draw and who's the ones you might want to avoid?
I think the ones you want to draw are in there with Sporting Lisbon, Salzburg and Benfica, really. I know obviously they're tough teams, but every team's a tough team in this Champions League draw so far. I mean, the ones you'd want to avoid, obviously, are PSG and Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid are just capable of grinding out a result. I know, obviously, Liverpool fared quite well against them in the group stage, and they have just been beaten by a poor Real Madrid side last night 2-0. But I just feel as though they're very much like Villarreal. Simeone knows how to grind out a result, and I feel like coming up against a team like that in United's worst nightmare. We've had a fair share of results against PSG over the last few years, but I don't know. I feel like Poch is now in his second year with him, and he's in his first year with him, first full year, and he's going to end up being able to implement his style of football, and I don't think that suits United in any way, shape, or form. But it would be poetic to get him and Rangnick knock out Pochettino, who could potentially be our new manager next season. So
we'll see. That could be the starting point of it. UEFA have got Andrea Sharvin in the studio, if you like, with the being in St. Petersburg. Apparently, he's the UEFA Champions League final ambassador, which is just money for old rope. Let's face it. He just stands there and says, St. Petersburg is great. This is who I think might win the competition. Here's the draw. Money for old rope. Grace, let's have a look at Liverpool's potential opponents then. Obviously, again, similar to the other sides that we've already discussed. You've got Benfica, Inter Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, Salzburg, Sporting Lisbon, and Villarreal. Again, for yourself, is there anyone that you'd like to avoid, and is there anyone that you'd prefer Liverpool to draw?
Well, I think with our record in the competition, I would be happy with us going up against any of them and hoping that we beat them, because we've shown that over the last few months, we've literally powered through all of these sides. We've not been threatened by anyone who was in our group. We literally sailed through it, and they called us the group of death. So, I'd like to think that we could come up against any of those sides and we'd be perfectly fine. I think I'd prefer a Sporting Lisbon or a Villarreal, to be fair. PSG is the one that I'm a bit... I just don't think you never really know what you're going to get with that group of players. They are world class, and if they're at their best, they will bring you a really tough game, and it will be really difficult to beat them. But you just don't know what you're going to get. If Liverpool brought their A game, then we could sail past them. But you just don't know with the Champions League, do you? Anything can happen.
Exactly, this is it. You really don't. And to be honest, I kind of echo your thoughts of all the three of our teams anyway. I fancy them all to get through to the quarterfinals, regardless of who they get. I think PSG probably the strongest team, certainly for Liverpool and Manchester United anyway. But even then, I think I don't foresee any issues. Bernard, we'll come round and give everyone a say on this and look at Chelsea, because Chelsea's route to the final is slightly different with not winning their group. So these are Chelsea's potential opponents. They can only possibly play Ajax, Bayern Munich, Lille, or Real Madrid. In Chelsea's boots there, Bernard, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as if I was a Chelsea fan, Ajax are doing pretty well, aren't they? But at least they play football, and obviously Chelsea perhaps don't sometimes. So that could be a bit of a problem. But they'd have to be happy with Lille, wouldn't they? But I'll be honest with you, I think finishing second like they did, and they obviously cocked that up, didn't they? Let's be honest about it. I think they would have been far happier winning that group. But Lille they want, but I think there's a bit of a slippery one for them there. Did they get any of the other three, to be honest with you?
Yeah, Kai, for yourself, obviously, as Bernard mentioned there, Ajax are playing really well. Bayern Munich are probably second favourites with the bookies, are behind City. Real Madrid are Real Madrid. They love the competition, and Lille probably the weakest out of the lot, but still a tough tie, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I think it'd be a tough tie. I think no matter who you get in this round, it's going to be a tough tie. It's knockout football, but you say Lille will be a tough tie. They're currently sat 11th in Ligue 1, and for me, that's in a league that's not exactly a great league to be to start with. I'd be more than happy with Lille. I think if I was Chelsea, I think I was looking at a lot of them teams that United could get, and I think I'd be happy with Lille as well. I think if United could get them, obviously they can't, but they're a team that obviously aren't in form. They've drawn to Nantes, they beat Rennes, they beat Troyes. They're not exactly great teams. They're turning over, but their record against the bigger teams isn't great. They've drawn to Monaco, a 10-man Monaco. They've drawn to Angers, despite having 10 men, and they lost to PSG, and their results have not been great in Ligue 1 so far.
Absolutely. And Grace, if Chelsea are up there with Liverpool, Manchester City, and to an extent Manchester United. In fact, you know what? Let's leave it there because the draw has begun. Benfica are the first team out. Benfica are the first team out of the draw. So again, Liverpool could potentially get these. Real Madrid, Benfica is the first game to come out. Bernard, what do you make of that?
Cracker, innit? I mean, I've got a soft spot for Benfica anyway. There's some of our players coming from there at the moment. I wouldn't have minded that one, to be honest with ourselves. But yeah, that'll be it should be a good game, Benfica, Real Madrid.
So the thing you have to think is Chelsea have now avoided Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So their options are now slimmer. So they've got more of a chance of getting Lille.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll wait for the second team to come out.
Villarreal are out.
Villarreal are out next. Okay, so Villarreal are out next. Who are they going to play? Wait and see. So Villarreal are out next. We've got Benfica against Real Madrid. Are we going to get an English team out at this stage? It reminds me of like watching the golf where they all got quite quiet and wait for the player to hit his shot.
They've got Manchester. That's not right. We've got Manchester United.
What?
Not.
Manchester United have been drawing against Villarreal, and that's not.
They'll have to put the ball back in and do it again.
I can't.
I was just going to say, then how did they get it right? Different bowls.
So when I was saying money for own rope from Andrea Sharman, it looks like
Villarreal have got Manchester City instead.
Right. So have they just basically gone?
No, they put the hand back in and redid the draw.
Right, okay. That's a bit iffy. But there you go, Bernard. You know you're playing.
Oh, yeah, I mean, obviously. You used to always get called United instead of City in the old days. It doesn't happen so much now, but obviously a very similar thing. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, I know they give United a good goal, but I think we'll be okay with Villarreal, to be honest with you.
But I think you're away first as well. Is that
better for you? Always a benefit, yeah. I think you're up. We are. The winners are away, aren't they? First one. Yeah, anyway, automatically.
Is that how it works?
Yeah. I'll say that.
Already, a lot of people are talking about Andrea Sharman making an absolute mess of this draw.
Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid out next.
Yep. Atletico Madrid out next. Oh, please don't get these.
Kai's nervous.
He's kept it to one side. He's just going to get it out now.
Yeah, he's going to pick the same ball up again, isn't he? Yeah. He's just going to pick the same ball
nice
up
and
again.
warm. Nice and warm so he knows.
It's mad. It's mad.
I can't believe that happened. How have they allowed that to happen and then just carried it on like normal?
Yeah, this is not right. This is not right at all.
They should have started it again.
They actually should have. No, I'm with you. They should have redone the draw completely.
They'll get too much stick for that as well.
Yeah.
They already are.
Bayern Munich.
Let's go Madrid. What a game that is.
That's a great draw.
Oh, what a game that is.
That's a great draw.
Get rid of one of the half-decent teams anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely. So just as it stands then, let's just have a quick look at where we stand. Obviously, you can see there that we've got the team. So let's have a look at Liverpool's remaining teams that you can potentially get. Is everyone still on the board there apart from Benfica and Villarreal? Is everyone else still available?
Yeah.
Salzburg
Everyone
have just been drawn.
Salzburg have just been drawn. Grace, you obviously take Salzburg.
I'll have them.
Obviously, Liverpool beat Salzburg a
I'll
couple
take
of
these as well.
couple of years ago.
Fight you for them, Kai.
I'm going to say, yeah, I'll be having you for a scrapping. He's probably the most likely that I'd like. Poetic, Ragnick coming back.
I can't get over the fact that Man United got Villarreal again.
I know.
Boston draw Chelsea against an English team and then have to put it back in. Watch.
Yeah.
It is just crazy.
Liverpool, you're
Look,
lucky.
Barcelona come out in a minute. Look.
Have we got Salzburg, have we? Yeah.
You're lucky.
I mean, instant reaction to that, Grace.
I'm
Happy?
happy with that.
Yeah.
We're going to get PSG.
Yeah,
see
if
it?
United
I'd be
get
thinking
PSG,
you're
I'll
right.
be even happier.
I'll tell you that.
Liverpool will play Salzburg in the round of 16, as I said, obviously.
Well, they're nicely 14 points
Inter.
clear in their division. Well, it doesn't say much, does it?
Doesn't, does it? It's a nice reunion for Saki Minamino as well. He'll get to
Inter
go
out
back to
next.
Salzburg. So can United can potentially play Inter Milan?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Let's just have a quick look, Kai, at what
That'll be a tough one, Kai, if it is.
we've got left.
It will be, yeah.
Inter Milan and Paris Saint-Germain or Sporting Lisbon as well,
I'd
still
like
available
Lisbon.
for United.
Keep Lisbon safe. Ronaldo's homecoming.
A lot of Liverpool fans who are complaining.
Ooh, Ajax
Inter Milan. Hell of a game.
It's a good
Hell
draw
of
as
a
well.
game.
Yeah, good game.
Hell of a game. Some really, really good games coming out of this draw. Ajax Inter Milan's really good. The Ajax are obviously a team that, I know you don't kind of class them as fantastic and amazing, but they are a top side, and
Yeah, it's the
I
history.
think we've done well to avoid getting Ajax all of us.
Sporting Lisbon have come out.
Sporting Lisbon, is this
Right.
going to be Manchester United, Sporting Lisbon?
Well,
Kai
they
is
can only put us
praying.
or Juventus, so it's a 50-50 chance.
Well, what I want to know is, have they put the Manchester United ball back in, or have Manchester United just been left out? Are you going to get to
They've
the end?
thrown
and
out
go,
now. They're not in it
oh,
anymore.
you've got Paris
Get it?
Saint-Germain, yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
true,
know.
actually.
Could you have potentially have got Salzburg and they didn't realise? If you get drawn out last and there's no balls left,
We've got
we're gonna
PSG.
know. PSG?
Well, it will be because Juventus have just been drawn out.
Juventus has
against
just been
Lisbon.
drawn, so that means...
Does it mean?
Does
Is
it?
that everyone
No,
been
because there's
drawn?
still what? Does Benfica is still in it? Oh, no, they're
No,
not.
Benfica have been drawn. They were first out.
Yeah. They were first out, yeah.
So you were PSG?
think so, by the looks of it, yeah.
Kai, I mean, you know, when Solskjaer takes over, you go to Paris and you get a good
Yeah.
result over there. Do you not feel slightly confident about that?
I do, but I just feel as though, like Gray said, you never know which PSG side are going to turn up. You really don't know what you're going to get with this PSG side. So yeah,
Chelsea.
we'll see. I mean,
Chelsea are out.
Chelsea are out. Yeah,
Chelsea are now out. Wait and see who Chelsea get.
Lille, Spawny, absolutely.
United again.
I'm telling you now, United's ball has come out and it has not gone back in.
Well, that's true, actually.
I am telling you now. If
Lille.
that is the case,
Easy one for Chelsea then. Easy one for Chelsea.
Yeah,
surely,
typical United get out of stride English teams again.
yeah. There we go.
PSG.
Chelsea get Lille and it's Paris Saint-Germain
Oh,
against
dear.
Manchester United. So let's just come round and get some more reaction then, Ben. I'll come back to you. Talk me through how you feel about getting Villarreal and what sort of game you think Manchester City might be coming up against.
Yeah, I'm just making sure United got pulled out and they didn't make another mess of it, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think as I say, on my list of 1 to 6, VRL was number 6. So as I say, I think as Kai was saying there, he does know how to organise a team, and that's obviously sometimes Pep does struggle against managers who know how to organise a team and play to the best abilities and sort themselves out against City. So we're hoping Pep doesn't overthink, which we always do. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest with you. If we can't beat Villarreal, then we don't deserve to be in the last 8, to be honest with you.
I think I agree with you there. Grace, you've had a bit more time to soak in the results of the draw compared to Kai, so I'll come to you next with Salzburg. Are you happy, and what do you expect from it?
As I said before, there's a few teams that I thought, you know what, like it'd be a pretty easy draw for us if we got them, and Salzburg were one of them. I think, as Bernard said before, they're top of their league, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, that means nothing when you think about the top leagues in this world and where they would actually compare to half the teams in our league. I think it'll be a pretty easy game for us. Saying that, you never know what's going to happen in the Champions League because anything could happen. But I think if we go to them, we'll be well up for it, and hopefully it should be a pass to the last 8 for us.
I think I agree. Yeah, I think of all the teams, Salzburg is one that I think Liverpool will be best pleased with, because not only is it, I say it's not an easy draw. You don't get easy draws in the Champions League anymore. But I think you've already been there, and Austrian league's not as strong as the other league, so not bad at all. Kai, of course, it's Paris Saint-Germain again for Manchester United. It's Messi against Ronaldo once again for two completely different teams than it was in the past. How are you feeling, mate?
I mean, I said before it was the one team that I really didn't want, them and Atletico, but I mean, there's not much you can do. You've got to face the good teams if you want to win it. And unfortunately, that means we've got to face them in the round of 16. Like you say, it's Messi v Ronaldo. Some would think they're almost desperate to have that, and they'd almost, draw us out twice to make it happen.
God forbid it was a fix. We don't know.
I'm joking. I'm only winding you up. No, I mean, to be honest with you, to have Poch coming to Old Trafford, at least he'll get a nice little tour around before he comes next season.
Do you think he'll go and see a few houses and get himself settled?
Maybe, you never know. I hope so.
Yeah.
He might be there already by then, mate. You don't know.
Well, yeah, you never know. Yeah, you don't know. Actually, that's a good, fair point.
Things turn around that quick. So let's just run through the draw again. You can see it at the bottom of your screen. I did do an Andre Arshavin and put Manchester City in there twice, but nobody noticed until I mentioned it.
We'll take double the chance. We might have a chance then.
Yeah, 2 chances to go through. Played on Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's just run you through it then, as I say, really quick. Benfica against Real Madrid, Villarreal against Manchester City, Atletico Madrid will take on Bayern, Salzburg against Liverpool, Inter Milan against Ajax, Sporting Lisbon against Juventus, Chelsea against Lille, and Paris Saint-Germain will face Manchester United. So I'm not too sure exactly when the games will be played, and it'll be February for the first. Is it the 22nd? The week commencing the 22nd, 23rd. Yeah, so obviously that's the first leg, and every one of our teams on this pod, apart from Chelsea, are away first. Second legs will be somewhere around March. The only other thing I wanted to ask you before we move on to who might win it is, obviously coronavirus restrictions are changing. You can see in Germany there's no fans in there particularly. When we get to February, Bernard, I mean, what are you thinking? Are we still going to have fans in the ground, or should we not have fans in the ground? Should we protect fans at the ground at all costs? What are you thinking?
Well, obviously, you're here in the UK from tomorrow, Wednesday. We've got to have all double jabs and or a flow test, haven't and stuff like that to get in the ground. So that's going to cause problems here, and I can't see. Obviously February is what it's only a couple of months away, isn't it, mate? But I mean, I do dread to think. I mean, when this first kicked off, I mean, we were talking optimistically, but then it sort of seemed to, once we got back in the stage, great. But no, it is a worry. It's definitely a worry. Even with people who double jabbed and stuff. I mean, you can't really be travelling around Europe and stuff like this. And it worries me about the players as well, because I'm sure still some players haven't had the jabs either, which I think is ludicrous. I think every elite sportsman of any sport should have had the vaccinations anyway. They're travelling around the world. I think that's absolutely stupid. But I mean, fingers crossed. We can't be that overly optimistic at the moment, unfortunately. As I say, it's so close, isn't it? And say with the problems are starting now. So if it was 6 months away, perhaps we could look ahead. But it's only a couple of months away. So we could be in for problems.
It seemed like something that had never happened back in when it did first happen in March 2020, but now we've seen it. It's kind of, we're looking at it. We're looking into the abyss a little bit. Kai, for you, I mean, what do you think? Is it going to make an impact? I mean, as Bernard says, travelling is very difficult for particularly away supporters. I know from a Liverpool point of view, the tickets have gone right down to like all members at some point, and that never happens for European games. So are we going to see fans at these games? And, how much of the product's going to be damaged if we don't?
I hope we see them. Don't get me wrong. I really hope we do see fans in the Champions League, but I think it's soon coming. I think it's the next thing that they're going to probably take off: big, large events and large scale events, nightclubs, and then that'll mean sports stadiums go with it. I think, I went to watch United v Young Boys. I know it was a rubber match in midweek, but there was no Young Boys fans. I couldn't even get into the stadium. It was a stadium full of United fans, and like you say, it's difficult to travel. So the away fans and that renowned away support from European clubs, unfortunately, won't be coming to the stadiums, and that's a shame. It's a massive shame because it's a big thing the competition's built around, and it's a massive part of the Champions League and the Europa League for that matter. But yeah, I don't think it'll be long before they do go, unless obviously they start to sort things out. Unless it's this variant, this Omicron variant's not as deadly or as bad as they think it is. But by the looks of it, by the way we're going, adding more restrictions, I don't think it'll be long.
Yeah, I mean, when it first sort of came out, they were saying it was mild, and the symptoms weren't that bad, and then all of a sudden you have the whole number 10 Christmas party stuff come out, and now we're looking in Plan B. I'm just being a bit skeptical there about us, I don't know. Grace, for you, I mean, Anfield with no fans in, we kind of seen last season how much it meant to Liverpool in terms of like having fans in the ground, and how much will that impact? Maybe not so much against Salzburg, but if they get a bigger draw down the line, if they get through the Salzburg tie, how much of a difference is that going to play for Liverpool?
Well, that's what I was going to say. In recent years, the fans at Anfield and away have really massively helped us. They've been a 12th man in some famous European comebacks for us. And I think it does make a massive difference. Like, you look at some of the results that we've had this season, and like the Arsenal one really sticks out for me. Like, Arteta wound the fans up to the point where the fans were the 12th man, which meant that we pushed for a win. So I think it sees how you can see how impactful it is to have fans in a stadium. But I think obviously health is the main concern here, and we have to look at how safe fans would be to like go to these large sporting events and be sat with like 45,000 other people. I doubt people will be going to away games this season. I really highly doubt it. But we just don't know with home fixtures, do we? If they take it away, then I think we could all understand why they've done it. But at the same token, we'll all be quite gutted not to go.
Well, this is the thing about the Atletico Madrid game that went ahead at Anfield in March 2020. I think it was about a week, not even a week before the national lockdown was like the spread of it was caused a lot of trouble in Liverpool and potentially across the country as well. So you want to avoid a situation like that. And as Bernard said, you need the COVID passes and stuff, lateral flows or double vaccinations from Wednesday. However, they've already said that it's physically impossible to check every single fan. It's going to still have to be spot checks because, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but obviously the NFC tickets have came in this year where you have to scan in with the barcodes, and they've caused enough trouble. So now if you add another thing onto that, and you've got the fact that sometimes the app doesn't load if too many people are on it in the same area, it seems to be a bit of a recipe for disaster if you can't control it.
Well, I got stopped on Saturday, and a guy said, have you got your that you cut your NHS? I know it wasn't. He was just checking or spot checking, and by the time I got it up, he said, "All right, you're all right, mate. Forget it." He just stood there,
This is it. This is it.
All right. He saw the NHS on my phone.
Yeah.
He just said, "Oh, all right, mate. Leave it at that." So,
well, this is it. I mean, if you haven't got the app, you haven't got it, sort of thing. You only got the app for that sort of thing, haven't you? So,
but also, so many people miss kickoff when that NFC pass was introduced.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally queues. People were coming in like 25 minutes into the game, and you just think, you've brought this in, but what you don't understand is like half the people that go to the match are older. Like, my great uncle goes to the game. He's like 83, can't use doesn't have a phone. Like, it's hard. Like, you have to accommodate everyone, and how can you in that situation when, like, he is never going to get a phone just to do that, is he? So,
and well, the other thing was that with the tickets, particularly, for example, like when I took my dad, I'd just do it on my phone for him because it saves him messing about. But then that slowed the process down. You can't possibly have 2 NHS COVID passes on a phone. So for the old generation who don't want to use a phone, they'd have to request, a letter of vaccination and, from the NHS. I don't know whether a text, because you sometimes get your texts through your lateral flows. Does that count? I don't know whether that counts as well. So there's a lot to be thought of, and it certainly signs are pointing to no fans being in the stadiums. We've had quite an interesting conspiracy theory come through, not related to COVID for once. This is from Mohammed, who says UEFA wanted United to face PSG so they can make commercial profit from Messi against Ronaldo. Now, obviously, it's probably a ridiculous thought, but the whole situation of United's ball coming out at the wrong time. Kai, where'd you stand on that? Messi against Ronaldo, UEFA the quids in.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they're probably rubbing their hands now it's come out.
Absolutely.
But to say they've rigged the draw, I think it was just genuinely a mistake. And I think Andre Arshavin, bless him, is going to be made the scapegoat for it because he was the one drawing the balls out. But he's not actually the one that goes and picks them out of the pots. So, I mean, he's not to blame for that for me. No, I to say it's rigged, I think that's going a bit too far. I mean, I've seen a lot of United fans on Twitter saying it is a joke, but well, they might be saying it's a joke, I might be being serious, but I personally, I don't think that's the case. I know obviously they'll be rubbing their hands now. It has come out, like I said, but to say that they wanted it and then that's what they've rigged the draw to have, it'd take a lot more slip ups if they wanted to rig the draw. Put it that way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, we all when we get a bad draw, we all sort of say it's a fix. You know, they've given us the toughest team again, but there's realistically not really much way.
Can I just say Ian Driver's saying I sound as though I'm from the Liverpool area. Ian, I'm not, mate. I'm from Manchester, so yeah. Don't get us mixed up, pal. I mean, and obviously he's getting a bit confused there. So
yeah, he's definitely not from the Liverpool area. Neither is Kai.
No.
You know,
I know. Having said that, yeah, we probably do. We also do sound to anyone else. We probably do, you know, abroad or anything. We probably do.
Because our team, it's not to do with where we're from. It's just that our team,
even if we like it or not, we do.
Yeah, our team's qualified for the Champions League. That's how it works. So I've just seen another thing here that apparently United weren't even in the pot to potentially face Atletico Madrid.
Oh, really?
So how can he possibly get away with that? Because that's not. I know, obviously, Kai, you wouldn't want to face Atletico Madrid.
No.
You know, but I mean,
if that's right, Dave. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. Absolute. You've got to do it. You've got to do it again. I mean, it's obviously just totally. Just made it just stupid, absolute stupid. I mean, I don't understand why they've carried on regardless. He should have just, as you said, it was early doors. It was only 3 or 4 balls in. Just start again, guys. You've made a mess of it and start. But this is what we get from these organisations. It's shocking, absolutely shocking.
It is very strange, as you say. It was very early on. It would have been so easy to go, do you know what? We've got it wrong. Let's just start again. Give us 5 minutes. Let's just start again.
Would you say there could be a redraw now that United weren't in the Atletico Madrid pot?
I think so. I don't think they'll bother, especially because you've got the Europa League draw to come.
But it's probably gone to the F1 guys. They're probably sorting it out. You know, the Formula One people. I think John Moss is involved as well. I think he's involved in it as well. So you know, go for the full house.
Yeah, they've got VAR on this one, but because it hasn't been overturned by UEFA. VAR won't overturn it.
No,
that's how it works. True, That's how it works.
It's not clear and obvious. It's not clear and obvious.
It's not clear and obvious. It's hearsay at the moment. Very, very strange Champions League draw. Very, very strange. Never have I seen anything like this. And in fact, there is evidence to say that. I've just seen a video now. It says that it definitely looks like Man United's ball was not included in the Atletico Madrid draw. That is definitely something to keep an eye on. I highly, highly doubt that there'll be another draw. I highly doubt it. But we have got an opportunity for this year, to be honest with you. We definitely have got an opportunity. Anyway,
David, I've just seen on Twitter. The away goals rule's now been scrapped, hasn't it? So do you think that affects many teams? Or they've gone next year? The rule.
I'm not sure.
I've seen a lot of people saying on Twitter replying.
I think it's this year. I think this year they said from memory.
Yeah, I think it might be this year. I mean, obviously, it changes the dynamic, and it almost, I don't know, it almost sort of takes away the fact that it doesn't matter who's at home first and who's away first anymore, does it? Like, we all think being away first is great because you get it out the way. And I suppose when you bring that team back to your home and you can sort of think, well, we need this and we need that to go through, but going and playing away first and you want that away goal, that's now gone. It almost doesn't matter. If you win 1-0, you just win 1-0. There's no away goals. So it's an interesting point, Kai, definitely, because I mean, the one thing I didn't like about away goals is in the second leg, if it goes through to extra time and stuff, that I get that. I understand that. So that's probably the way to get rid of it.
The thing with away goals for me is it pairs with having away fans in a stadium. Like if you go away, your away support are brilliant. You get a few goals away from home. You say you're at home second leg, you come home thinking, right, well, we're comfy now, aren't we? Because we've like scored 3 away. But without fans, does that even make that much of a difference anyway? Like, does that pair with the fact that if we take fans away from stadiums and we take away the away goal rule, then it's more of a level like playing field anyway, really, because the only reason away goals really matter for me is because your away fans are buzzing when you score that goal and you've got that support behind you. Obviously, you're up against it with their home fans, but if you come back with those goals, then obviously you feel much better. But if there's no fans, then...
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of make an 11 playing field in the sense that you both have to go away anyway, but then you both get the opportunity to score away goals, obviously the extra time situation. But it'd be interesting to see how it changes the dynamic of the fixtures, certainly. Just one last time, let's run you through. Obviously, you can't see on the bottom of your screen, but let's just talk you through the fixtures. Benfica will take on Real Madrid. You've got Villarreal against Manchester City, not Manchester United, which is where it all went wrong. Atletico Madrid against Bayern Munich. Again, Manchester United were not in that pot, apparently, to face Atletico Madrid. Salzburg will play Liverpool. Inter Milan against Ajax. Sporting Lisbon against Juventus. Chelsea take on Lille, and it's Paris Saint-Germain once again facing Manchester United. We know the draw. We've seen all the teams. We know kind of what route we're going through in terms of who we're going to play. So I'm going to ask you now to predict who might win the Champions League based off of that draw. Grace, I'll come to you first because you keep going last. So I'll come to you first, give you the opportunity to go first. Based on that draw, who's going to win the Champions League?
Oh, I'd love to say us. I'd absolutely love to say us. We have got Liverpool. I've got a good chance, obviously, coming up against Salzburg. I think that was one of the easiest fixtures we could have drew out of that draw anyway, so that's fine. I think City have got a good chance, but I have said that the past few years, and that's not happened. I also think Juventus have got a good chance as well. Juventus, obviously, a strong side. I think there's a lot of teams in there that you could put forward to win it. Like the last 8, going off that, you could probably predict right now. But I think in terms of a winner, I want a 7th one, Dave. I really do. I hope.
Greedy. Stop being greedy.
Bernard wants you to share the love a little bit. Out there. Bernard, I'll come to you next, mate. I mean, obviously you'll be desperate as well for Manchester City to win it and go that one step further. Is that now going to reach? Yeah, are you going to reach the pinnacle?
I mean, the worry for me, I don't think we're as good this year. We certainly haven't been as good this year as the team we had last year to win it. That worries me. There's no great shakes in the other teams either. But to be honest with you, Liverpool worry me the most. If they keep fit, they're always going to be up there. They're the one I dread. Liverpool and Bayern Munich are the only 2 I really worry about. I think that City, Bayern Munich, and Liverpool are top 3 in the betting, I think, anyway. I think that's part of that. I'm saying I don't worry so much about PSG, even though on aggregate they would have beaten us, wouldn't they? Obviously, obviously they beat us 2-0 place, and we only beat them 2-1 at ours. So in theory, obviously they would have been through, wouldn't they? So, but I don't worry about PSG so much. But yeah, I'm hoping City. As I said, I don't think we're quite as strong as last year though. But that the best team doesn't necessarily win the European Cup. Let's be honest about it, guys. It's not always Chelsea have won it when they've been absolutely bobbing. So anyone can win it on the day. But I'm hoping City. But my big doubt would be that Liverpool might sneak it again.
Okay, obviously 2005, the best team certainly didn't win it that year. We had Jimmy Traore left back that year, so that's absolutely right, mate. It depends who you get in the draw. It depends how you get on in your games. It's 2 legs. Anything can happen. It's very difficult, but I'm still going to ask you anyway, Kai. Obviously, we know Manchester United don't stand the chance, don't we? Now, go on, mate. What do you think?
As much as I'd love to say we stand a chance, I think scraping past Norwich at the weekend heavily proved that we don't have a chance. But yeah, like you say though, it depends how the draw falls. It's happened before where, you only have to look at last year how bad Chelsea were at the start of the season. Tuchel took over halfway through and won the Champions League. But I mean, for me, you can't look past Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich are, an incredible team. We mentioned here 3 of the 4 English teams being City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, and Bayern Munich. I think are your 4 favourites. I can't see past any of those winning it. Any of the, I mean, PSG, like you've mentioned, that that the theory they should be there, whether they are or not. See if we'll get past us first. That's the I think that's the main question in their heads, getting past us. But no, I think it'll probably be Bayern Munich, because it pains me to say one of the English teams are going to win it this year.
It's very difficult to look past the English teams. It really is. Very, very strong sides. All 4 of us really can go all the way. It's almost going back to that period of time in the mid-2000s where it was just dominated by English teams, and Liverpool kept getting thrown against Chelsea every year. It seemed like, I think it was like 4 years out of 5 or 6. Definitely the strongest teams alongside Bayern Munich are the English teams. Right, folks, thank you for your time. We now know who will be playing I know it's a bit away in February, but we now know who will be playing.
Just interesting, Dave. This Atletico Madrid thing. I mean, obviously they've drawn Bayern Munich. I mean, from an Atletico Madrid point of view, they would be saying, "I'm sorry, guys. United should have also been an option, and it wasn't." So I mean, just looking from their point of view, I would be absolutely going furious and asking for things to be answered, questions to be answered on that one, just from their point of view. I mean, it's just
you've got, obviously, Atletico Madrid will be disappointed and confused. You'll have Paris Saint-Germain also a bit sort of like Manchester United were drawn earlier on, and I don't know. I think it's really difficult.
Let's face it, no one wanted to get Bayern Munich particularly. English clubs didn't particularly want to get them, and obviously Atletico Madrid are not a bad team, and I'm sure they didn't want to get them particularly at this stage. So yeah, it's just as you say, we'll see. But at the moment, we're going with it, aren't we? But
at the minute, I mean, as it says here,
can lodge an appeal and see what happens.
They're going to lodge a complaint. The teams who were directly affected, such as Manchester United, they could potentially appeal it. They've ended up with Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, we joked about after being put back in the draw. We joked about it, but they actually weren't for the Atletico Madrid draw. So certainly something.
It seemed too quick to carry on. I mean, they didn't seem to pause. I mean, I was watching it on air, and they just seemed to get on with it. Just pause. Just have a think for a minute, guys. Just think on for a minute, even just a minute. But they just carried on regardless. It's just very, very odd.
You've got it right. I mean, obviously, if it would have been, I don't know, say Sporting Lisbon and United were left out of it, then there's questions to be asked. I think because it's Atletico Madrid, does that make it any easier? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, if the draw does come back on, we'll be give you the first to know. We'll let you know. We'll all jump back on and sort it out. But that's the draw as it stands anyway. So as I say, folks, thank you for your time. Much appreciated. We've done a much better job than UEFA. Ours went flawlessly with 0 faff and no Russian spies. So far anyway. Thank you to everyone who watched across all of our platforms, especially on Manchester TV. Very popular today, you two gents. Plenty of people watching on Manchester TV. I bet they loved listening to me at Grace talk.
You sound as though you're from Manchester, so you're all right.
Apparently we're all from Liverpool, yeah. According to, I think it was a Geordie, wasn't it? Your team didn't qualify for the Champions League, mate. There's nothing I can do about that. Nothing I can do about that at all. Right, thank you very much as ever, folks. And thank you to all of you for watching. We'll be back again very soon. The Box to Box podcast tomorrow night, of course, as well, 8 o'clock on Facebook. Feel free to watch that, and we'll see you all again very soon.